right, welcome you guys to our Monday night team training. My name is Lisa, and I'm so excited tonight. We get to hear from my special friend, Christy. She is going to be talking to us about recognition tonight. So this is the fourth training call that we've done this week, or this month, every Monday night. And so this topic, if you haven't gone and watched all of the Monday night trainings for this month, I would encourage you to do that, because each Monday we talk about a different topic. And so tonight's the fourth night, and then next Monday is the fifth pillar of training that we're doing for this month. So Christy's going to talk to us about recognition in just a sec. But before we do, yes, they are all so good. But before we do, Teresa, would you mind just to lead us in a prayer for us?
You bet, of course. Lord, we come tonight to you with open arms and mind and soul. We are here as a group to learn from each other and to build strength from one another as we grow our businesses. We know that the moment that we take the first step of faith, the first giant leap sometimes of faith, seeds of courage begin to grow. Lord, please guide us and direct us as only you know how, with an abundance of love and support. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Okay, so tonight, for those of you who do not know Christy Doss, she is a Diamond Ambassador. And Christy, if you want to just tell the folks just a little bit who you got living in your house and where you live and how long you've been doing this real quick.
Yes. Okay. So Christy here, and I have been doing Plexus for 7 years. Was very skeptical, saw Lisa right here posting, and just basically reached out to her and was like, hey, what is this pink drink? What is this stuff you're talking about? And long story short, I have, of course, husband and 2 boys. I have 2 boys, one's 14 and one is 11. And that's how I got here.
Awesome. And y'all, she still lives in Georgia. That's how we met, was in high school. And she lives in Evans, Georgia?
Yes.
Still?
It's
Okay.
near Augusta.
Augusta. Okay, that's what I was thinking. The golf capital of the world, I do believe. So she lives in Evans, Augusta, Georgia, which is almost in South Carolina, and beautiful over there. If you get a chance to visit, it's gorgeous. That's how we met, was in high school in Georgia. And I left beautiful Georgia to come to Montgomery. Still here after almost 18 years. Maybe one day I'll get to move back to Georgia. We'll see. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about recognition. Christy is so awesome at recognition with her team. That's why I asked her to come and be our guest speaker tonight, because some people have it and some people don't. And Christy has it. She is so genuinely, she's so genuinely concerned about everyone being recognized for their different strengths, for what they can bring to the table. She's so kind. She makes everybody feel so welcome on the team, in the chats. She wants people to connect. She wants to recognize you for the things that you do. So I wanted her to come and share with us just a little bit. So Christy, I'm going to start asking you some questions. Are you ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
So my first question is, why is team recognition important? Like, what benefits have you seen from being able to recognize your team? Like, what's the big deal about it?
I mean, it's so important, because I know, as for me, like, that's one thing that really struck me when I joined. Like, I didn't know I was going to get added to team pages. I didn't know I was going to get, like, hey, let's get on a call with you. Like, I had no idea, but like, I remember telling my husband, like, I'm on this phone call, but I don't know why, but this is really cool. Like, I mean, and that's when I actually heard about, how big this really I was on like a 4-way call. I think it was Lisa with you, your sister, Juliet, Lindsay, maybe one other person, but I just felt like I was a part of something that I didn't even know I needed at the time. Like, I just wanted to get well. I just wanted to feel better. And then to hear the opportunity. But for all this to say, like, I really, when I got welcomed on the team page, like, I didn't know what it was, but I started seeing rank ups and it got me excited. I mean, it really got me excited to where, oh my gosh, what is this? Like, and then seeing all the information and seeing everybody work together and cheer each other on. And like right off the bat, I just wanted to duplicate that. I just wanted everyone to feel that way like I did when I got started. And so ever since then, I've just always loved sharing when someone does something. I mean, it doesn't matter how big it is, how small it is, like everyone matters and everyone plays a huge part on the team. I mean, you can have someone and everyone you have to meet where they're at also. Like not everyone wants to go diamond and that's okay. Not everyone, but everyone adds so much to the culture of the team. And that's something that I just love. And, any little thing, I just love cheering people on.
I love that. And that's so important, to feel welcome and to feel wanted. Good grief, it starts in infancy, it starts when we're little, and it doesn't end when we become adults. Not for me, at least. I love getting recognized for things that I truly feel like that I've done. But what's interesting is that when someone, and so my upline is Lindsay. And so for those of y'all that don't know, and so Lindsay, I think I've even said this to you before, but when Lindsay will call something out in me or about my character or about maybe a skill that I didn't think was so great, but she will call that out. Do you know what that wants me, that, what that makes me want to do is to do better at that thing, So I think that recognition, even whenever we see people's, I'll get to that in a second. But definitely, it makes you feel good whenever someone is calling you out and shouting you out. Okay. So the next question is, so Christy, do you personalize or generalize your team praise? Why or why not? So personalize or generalize your team praise, or both?
I like to say it's personalized just because like I may reach out to someone or I may shout them out on the team page or it really isn't just generalized unless, we're talking about as far as, how many people, they've added or whatever, but I mean, that's generalized, but, and I'm not perfect. Like there's, no one's perfect at this. And like, when I was actually thinking about all these, about this talk tonight, I was like, gosh, like there's some things that I used to do. Like, I want to do that again. So it's cool how it kind of brings back full circle. Like, no one's perfect at this, but we can all work at it. And so it really brought attention to some things that I used to do that I want to start doing again. So just even brainstorming about that is huge.
I agree. There's so many things that whenever I first started, the things that weren't working, I learned how to tweak them, and you learn what works for your team and what works for individuals. I think that it's important to, be able to recognize people as a group and then individually for sure. I agree with that. Being able to connect with someone one-on-one. Some people don't like that personal attention publicly. They don't like to be gushed over. That's where, as leaders, we have to figure out who likes that kind of praise, who likes to be in the spotlight, and who really doesn't, to just be, go on and on about. And so those are the kind of people that you do want to make sure that you recognize them, in the messages, in the chats, not so much, publicly, if that's not their gig, if that's not their thing. So for sure, be able to personalize that, based on what your team needs. So, okay. So big and small wins. So when someone does something big, like go diamond, or has like, added 87 people, or something small, like, nothing, there's no small win. I feel like they're all good and big wins, but you know what I'm saying, for the purpose of, simplification, we'll just say there's a big win, like someone adds 87 people in a month, and there's a smaller win, like someone made their first post, which is actually pretty big.
Yeah.
Do you celebrate both, and why? And how would you celebrate if someone did something small like that? How would you celebrate that?
Well, really, like you were saying, I mean, it's super big. I mean, that's a big deal because that's what leads to the next level. And that takes so much bravery. And so every little thing to me is like a big deal. And you want to make it a big deal because it is. And I feel like that is going to encourage them to make it to the next level, to something that's even bigger. Like, I still get nervous on Zoom calls, but like, but I mean, it's like, but you do the things that, you just go through the things and it's going to grow you that much more. So,
For sure. Whenever we have someone that does their first post, we want to make sure that you recognize that, because to you it may seem like a small thing because you've been making posts for a long time, but to be sensitive to someone and to really to highlight that they have made their first post and say that is a big deal, because for a lot of people they're stepping out of their comfort zone, where some people just post all the time about anything and everything, and some people they're very private but they want to work this business. So when
Yeah.
you say, hey, you just made your first post, you guys give my friend some love on the team page who made their first post, that's going, just like Christy said, it's going to encourage them to want to do it more. If you were to do the things, now some people can just be trucking along on their business journey or their health journey. I mean, we're talking more leadership things right now for the purposes of this call. But whenever you shout someone out for, something small in their business journey, it encourages them to want to do more. But when you don't, when you forget and you go, days and weeks and you're just expecting them to be like that self-starter that can continue to do the things that they should be doing and that you would do. But if they don't get that praise, that recognition, they kind of fade out into the background. And so we've got to be champions for especially these new people. But even people, when I'll be honest, I've been doing this 7 years. And when Lindsay shouts me out, it makes me feel good. Not in a, I guess in a prideful way, but more in a way that, what, I've been doing this for 7 years. But I still am able to reach, to have accomplishments, to be able to still reach a goal that I've had. I want to be that encouragement to someone else. I want to be, yes, feeling of accomplishment for sure. I want to be that, that person that says, even though I've been doing this for a while and I still have downlines who outrank me, I still love to feel like, that value, that it's so simple to add to someone just by a quick shout out. I love it when Lindsay shouts me out. I do. Would I have to have that to still do this business? No. Yes, we all do want to be seen. That's right. Well, most of us, right? Some people like to fade in the background. Sometimes I feel like I want to, but I know that for me to be able to encourage other people, hopefully I want them to see me and say, Lisa's doing this. Like, if Lisa can do it, anybody can do it. So that's really my mantra, is like, well, if I can do it, anything, just anything, if I can do anything, then maybe somebody else can do it. I'm not diamond, I'm not sapphire, but I'm clinging to emerald, and that's good and that's great. And someone else may want to do this too. So let's do this. So
yeah, that's good. That's so true. Cause I know, like, if this introvert can do it, gosh, anyone can. You know what I mean? You find people that you're similar to, and you just kind of like, okay, they can do it. And they're, encouraging, and they're doing all the things, and you just duplicate what has been done. There's nothing, it's very simple, duplicatable things. So, and having a cheerleader is just, icing on the cake. So
for sure, cheerleaders, even guys like cheerleaders, right, Dave? Like, don't people like to be cheered on? Yes, it's good. It's good for anybody, just to have a little pat on the back, a little recognition. Okay, next question, Christy. What are some good recognition strategies that we can keep in mind?
Okay, there's no real strategy. The main thing is not leaving anyone out. Like, even like we talked about earlier, the smallest thing, just really recognizing that, and just really, cheering on like it's a big thing, because it really is. Every little thing is big. And not leaving, that you might have your rock star, and you might have the one that adds maybe one a month or one every other month, but they're all so big, and it all adds so much to your team culture.
It does. You're right. Next question. What are some of your favorite ways to do shout outs?
I love graphics. Those are fun, and they're pretty, and we're like one Plexus, right? So we can find somebody has like a gift with making the templates. And so they're usually shared and you'll find them, and it's just fun. And then you find the one that you think the person that you're adding it to might like. And it's just a little touch that's just kind of fun.
Yes, and whenever you do a shout out, you always do something that's a personal little saying for them, just for
Yeah.
them. A characteristic that is something that you want to highlight, and all the the hard ways that they're working
Yeah.
is a great way to do that too. Okay. So what happens? I think we all know the answer to this, but we're going to let you answer this anyway. What happens when team members aren't recognized or appreciated? What could happen?
They may start feeling, just like they're not seen and that they aren't appreciated, and they might start to resent. I don't know, like you just really, it can really start to snowball. So
Do people work? Obviously, we find that people work harder for praises rather than raises. So for sure to keep that in mind. I mean, there's been, in all transparency, there has been times when sometimes, whether it's with the job, the 9 to 5 job that you're, in now, whether it's in corporate America or, whatever it is that you're doing. And even, I mean, I stayed at my job for 14 years OBGYN nursing, which I'm still doing. I retired last year, but I still work as needed. So maybe once a month, twice a month at most, but, well, not at most, but you know what I'm saying? Just here and there, whenever I want to, when they need me. But I stayed for 14 years through the good and the bad, not because it was easy, and not because, I mean, I did love what I did. I mean, I stayed for a long time because of that, but it felt like family. My coworkers felt like family to me. And this Plexus is not easy, but it is simple to do, and it answers a lot of questions. It provides a lot of answers to issues that my family was having health-wise and financially. But the reason that I have stayed is because, yes, the money is good and being able to help people is great, but it does feel like family to be able to feel connected, to be able to feel seen, like Julia said, to be able to feel like what you are doing matters. That is why I have stayed as long as I have, because it's not easy. And you know what? I'm kind of glad that it's not easy, because I don't know that I would want millions of people to be doing what we're doing right now, because I don't want to be doing something. I mean, because what kind of a reward would that be if, I don't want to just be on an assembly line. Nothing wrong with assembly line workers, don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean? Like, if everybody did what we did, I don't know. I don't know that it would be so special to me. So it's definitely a family atmosphere. If you get plugged in, if you do the things, even if you're not being seen by your upline, talk to a sideline sister, let them, or brother, sorry, Dave, a sideline brother or sister, and let them shout you out. I've seen people that don't have uplines, like active uplines, when they do something great, and it's not just about for the pride issue, but it's important, I think, that whenever you don't have an upline to shout you out and you've just achieved something great, let someone else shout you out, let a friend. I see this on the Jewel page even, that other sideline sisters and brothers are shouting each other out because someone else needs to see that person doing the thing and meeting those goals. So I think that it is important that other people see the achievements, and where you have come. Some people have come so far, and they don't get the recognition, not just for them, but for the people watching them. I think that's really key. Okay, so last question. How is recognition related to team culture?
It's everything. I mean, it really is, because it adds so much value to the person. And when you come together as a whole and you're cheering each other on, and you have that recognition, which really is recognition's being seen, heard, it is all encompasses, that. So I mean, that's everything. It's just being a family. Like you said, it's a family, it's a unit. It's, you want to keep adding new people to the family. You want to keep cheering each other on. And that's what's going to bring momentum is, when you're all in it together. And that's what this is. I mean, this is something where like-minded people come together. And that's when it gets really fun and exciting because you're doing it together and it gives you motivation to do the things that are hard. Because otherwise, if you don't have, those people that are cheering you on and they're watching you and they're, watching you do the things and you're shouting out that you're going to do these things, I mean, you want to live up to that. So
Absolutely. And when we see our brothers and sisters, ranking up and meeting goals, hopefully part of the goal is not only to recognize them, but to be able to, and not even motivate. I mean, motivate is a word that I don't like using a lot. I would have used it a lot more before Plexus, but being motivated is waning and being motivated comes and goes. But still the shout outs and the recognition is so important because whenever someone sees that, hopefully it will inspire them to be disciplined. That's my word. Better, I don't really like to use the word motivated, but motivated is good to get started, but you got to have that discipline to stick to it. But if recognition, like in the form of prizes, in the form of shout outs, in the form of rank advancement, things like that. I think that Plexus does an amazing job of the ways that they recognize people whenever they are speakers. Christy, you were a speaker at one of the events, and did corporate send you some flowers or something?
yeah, they send
And
flowers.
a little card? And when you went emerald and sapphire and diamond, they send you gifts and cards and flowers. You guys, for us that are going on to Hawaii, they sent this beautiful little invitation. It's not little, it's like a little, plaque. I need to post about mine, but it's so beautiful to be and so special to be recognized for that. And the reason that I haven't jumped out and just posted about it was that, I don't want people to think I'm bragging. But then immediately I say, what? I was recognized for something that I've worked really hard for. And someone else is looking at little old me who has no experience with network marketing, who doesn't know what she was doing. I still feel like sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, but to feel recognized and, by just something as simple as an invitation to a trip, that meant a lot to me. And so, not posting about something like that because I was recognized for it, you can do it with a haughty spirit, but you can also do it with humility. And, for the next person that wants to do and go where you've been and what, all the places that I've been because of Plexus. Oh my goodness. I don't know that I've ever would have been to all these places and gone on all these trips. If it hadn't been for Plexus, I probably would have just sat, gone to the beach, gone to the mountains, which are great. But I mean, I would have never left the country, and even though Hawaii is like still part of, do you know what I mean? Like the continental United States, I don't know that I've ever would have done that outside of Plexus. So when you're thinking about recognition for your teams, make sure that not only do you recognize them publicly, if they're okay with that, hopefully they are, but recognize them privately as well. Send, if you're able to send even if you can't send like a gift or a gift card or whatever to recognize things that they've done and accomplished, you should still be able to recognize people for like in a card, just to get a stack of cards from Target. They have a dollar section at Target, and you can grab some note cards and you can just write a little note, a handwritten note. What are handwritten notes anymore? Nobody sends those, but I love getting things in the mail, like tangible notes and cards in the mail. They're my favorite. And so I think that's probably why Plexus does that. Like they send those invitations in the mail because it's just special to open something up, something tangible in the mail like that, that you feel like it was just personalized for you. So, go ahead.
Also, it's very inspiring. I know that when I was watching, Julia and all them, like when they would earn their trips, it's like, it's very inspiring and it's very motivating because you're like, oh, I want to get there too. So I love it when people share what they've earned because, it really makes you like just work that much harder and try to figure out and dig into trainings and, and not to mention it inspires the blue personalities too.
That's
So when
right.
you're your Hawaii and stuff.
That's right. All those people that love to have the fun. That's right. So anyway, I just want to encourage all of you guys who have maybe dropped off recognizing your team. Don't feel like you have to throw big parties and big elaborate, events to recognize your team. Team recognition is great and it's important, but that individual personalized recognition, whether it's just a video message, just a 15-second, hey, I see you. I saw that post. It was awesome. I saw that, sip and see you did. I saw that person you added, you're doing so great. And just that personal touch, it's really going to go a long way. A handwritten card, something personal, but also, shout your people out because you don't know the next person that they're going to inspire by you showing, hey, look what she's or he's done. You can do it too, Christy, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I don't just, just always, to me, it's just every little thing just builds and just don't leave anyone out and just try to just, encourage everyone that you can. And
I love that.
it just feels,
it's always good.
it feels good to encourage people and cheer them on.
And Kim made a good point in the chat. She said, as a stay-at-home mom, I love the shout outs because being recognized for hard work is something that doesn't come often. I agree with that. Because and that's a good point, Kim, because it is very important to remember that not everyone is in the spotlight at home. So maybe Plexus is the only recognition that they're going to get, like their Plexus family is the only recognition that they get. So that's a good point. You don't know what their home life is, what their relationships are in the home, or let's say that they work somewhere else, we didn't get recognized a whole lot in my current office, and not to put them down. They just don't. My previous office, man, we would we would just get showered with all kinds of things and, banners and cards and gift boxes and all, just all kinds of things. And it made us feel special, dinners out and like nice dinners out. Of course, it was like in Atlanta and the budget was different. But just a little handwritten note is so important because you don't know that even if someone has a corporate job, you don't know that they are getting the recognition that they don't know that they need and that they don't know that they even want, maybe. Because all of us are capable of big things. All of us are capable of inspiring someone else. And when we don't recognize them, and especially, well, let me just finish that sentence. I'm going off on a bunny trail. When we don't recognize that, we don't know to what detriment that could be to their self-esteem, and we're not here to blow smoke up anybody's skirt or coveralls. I'm just trying to include you, Dave. Skirt and coveralls, we're not here to do that. No false praise. That's not what Christy and I are here to talk about, but sincere recognition, gratitude for your team, gratitude for your customers, gratitude for the people in Plexus that are helping you to reach your goals. And hopefully you're helping them to reach theirs. But also I'm hoping that's going to have the trickle down effect, because as we recognize someone, where did that come from? It came from a place of gratitude. We also have a heart of gratitude. Maybe that'll trickle down into our workplaces and maybe into our homes and our families and things like that. So to be recognized doesn't just mean, great job, you did great, but it's also great job for working hard, great job for, putting in all that work. And, just like I was saying that Lindsay does for me, she pulls out things about my character and my skill set that I didn't know was shining, or maybe she's doing it to help me recognize, hey, I may not be so great in this area, but man, if she says I'm great in it, I'm going to have a self-fulfilling prophecy and I'm going to reach that greatness that she says that I am. You know, she says I'm a great communicator. Well, I didn't really think that I was, but I'm going to work on it so I can earn that title of being a great communicator. Do you know what I mean? So, all right. That is our 30 minutes. I know people want to hop on the table call. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for coming. And then next week we have another Monday night training. Julie, I think it's about leadership. I think leadership is our last call. So check it out next Monday night, 8 o'clock. Christy, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
Yes, we love having you. And you're so good at recognizing people. So thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. So you guys have a good night. We'll talk to y'all later.